Nvidia, biggest driver to the downside in the S&P 500, down more than 6%. This comes after the company warned it will report about $5.5 billion in write-downs for the current quarter, all because their H20 chips will require a license to be exported to China for the indefinite future. Another headache coming from this ongoing trade war. Again, this is a big move for a big company. So you don't normally see Nvidia down 6%, $2.5 trillion company. So that's providing quite a bit of selling pressure across major averages.
Definitely weighing on peers. We're seeing information technology, the worst performing sector in the S&P 500 right now.
Yeah, and SOX index, I know ASML is having its own issues, but the SOX index right now down more than 3.5%. So a sharp sell-off for tech names and kind of a flight to risk. I know JT mentioned it, but Abbott Labs, Chevron, United Health, investors seeking safety, just given all the volatility that continues to play out.
What's going on with Hertz? I'm a gold card member at Hertz. That means when I walk up there, the car's just kind of see the name up on the thing. You just walk to the car.
I love that.
We were talking on TV about it. So did you ever rent a Tesla from Hertz?
No.
Okay. Well, that's been their big headache.
Okay.
But the stock's up right now 15%. This comes after Bill Ackman's Pershing Square disclosed that they bought 12.7 million shares.
Really?
So they're now a top 3 shareholder.
Wow.
Stock's up 15%, but since it emerged from bankruptcy back in 2021, down 84%. So
wow.
Buying a dip, buying a plunge. Just want to call out that one of the more recent high-profile names that Ackman took a stake in, Nike, announced that stake back in August. The stock's down more than 30% from that point in time. So an interestingly rough go for some of these names associated with Bill Ackman. We'll certainly be keeping an eye and trying to figure out if it's an activist bet or him buying the dip.
Because they went long Tesla, right?
Yeah.
In terms of they put a lot of cars into their fleet, and then it became clear that they weren't really working out, I guess.
It wasn't working, and then also it's, as Matt Miller made the point on TV, if you, I don't know, you drive a rental car like a rental car, and you ding the rear view mirror,
right?
It's pretty expensive to replace one of those, as opposed to,
sure.
a Toyota where parts are bit cheaper.
Exactly.
Yep.
You're also keeping an eye on United. What's going on there?
Yeah, United Airlines was up more than 5.5%, now up less than 0.5%. So giving back a chunk of those gains. JT had mentioned it. Interesting strategy. They laid out 2 outlooks, blaming uncertainty. Obviously, no one really knows if we're going into a recession or if we're already in one. So they laid out their base case guidance, which maintained and kind of drew applause from analysts, and also a downside guidance in the event that we do go into a recession and consumers feel the pinch. Again, we did see kind of their initial rally partly because it stands opposite of what Delta warned.
Right.
So certainly seeing maybe a divide, but interesting commentary coming from their CEO saying that the weakest region they currently have is domestic. So keeping an eye on U.S. consumers, and if we are going to see a recession or see people kind of slowing their discretionary spending, what that means for this kind of a company.
2 forecasts.
Yeah, I know.
2 forecasts. They said pick one. We'll see what happens. We got
2 different scenarios. 2 different scenarios, I guess, as they're out there with. All right, we'll see how that plays out. Bailey Lipschultz, thank you so much. We appreciate that. Bailey Lipschultz, equities reporter for Bloomberg News. For more conversations like this, listen to our new Stock Movers podcast. Subscribe for 5-minute episodes on the biggest winners and losers in the stock market. Listen to Stock Movers on Apple, Spotify, or anywhere you get your podcast.